Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, and we're going to talk about two things we've been talking a lot about lately. Stan Lee and NFTs. Yeah, Stan Lee's original webisodes are going to be auctioned off as NFTs. That's a non-fungible token. That is basically a digital original, like a certified original. And this has been very controversial in comic book circles. But for them to auction off some of Stan Lee's original webisodes is kind of an interesting move. I'm not sure how I feel about it at this point. Disney has been using a lot of Stan Lee stuff to promote the MCU, of course. Not too long ago, they dropped a trailer using Stan Lee's 2017 anti-Comicsgate video to promote the Phase 4 of the MCU. They used audio from this kind of lo-fi cell phone video speech that he gave in 2017. It was one of the last pieces of usable video footage of Stan Lee, and it was, commissioned under pretty dubious circumstances. That's a whole nother video. We talked about that. It's basically Marvel trying to get back at the YouTubers that were taking them to task, in my opinion. But Disney decided they were going to use audio from that to promote Phase 4 of the MCU, and now they're auctioning off original webisodes as NFTs. So we're going to talk about that. Before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 188,000 subs, almost 189,000. Please hit the subscribe button. If you haven't done so already, YouTube keeps unsubscribing people. I don't know why. It's YouTube. I stopped asking questions years ago as to why they do what they do. They just do what they're going to do, and that's basically it. So if you could hit the button, that would be fantastic. Geeky is sitting this video out, but she did kick this link over to me this morning. Coming from Comic Book Resources, Stan Lee's original webisodes are going to be auctioned off as NFTs. One of Stan Lee's earliest web series, which pioneered the term webisode, is being commemorated and auctioned off as a non-fungible token. The pilot episode of comic icon Stan Lee's first web series is being auctioned off. Makersplace.com is currently conducting an auction themed around pieces of high-concept digital superhero art from the last 2 decades. The featured piece of the collection is the pilot for Lee's animated series, The Seventh Portal, which is credited as being the first series to coin the term webisode. Webisode 1, Let the Game Begin, will be sold in its entirety as a single edition NFT, with limited edition animated and still NFTs featuring the series heroes and villains also available to bid on. Cheryl Rhodes has curated the collection for an NFT release. Rhodes formerly served as the executive vice president of Marvel Comics, in addition to being a personal associate of Stan Lee, succeeding him as the publisher of the company. NFTs are a form of cryptocurrency where each unit is accompanied by artwork or a video clip. Therefore, the buyer is effectively purchasing an original work by an artist in digital rather than tangible form. So yeah, I mean, look, NFTs are incredibly controversial. I don't know the full environmental impact. I know a lot of comic book artists are freaking the hell out over NFTs because they're like, every time you fire up an NFT, the rainforest burns. And I don't know if it's true. I don't know exactly how much energy an NFT uses, but a lot of people are doing them now. Again, for them to auction it off for Stan Lee, is this going to charity or something? They're talking about Superhero Kindergarten, which actually did very, very well. And Stan Lee used the web to, kind of kickstart his own ideas. I don't think any of his ideas, post-Marvel really took off that well. My memory could be a little fuzzy on that. But so a decade later, a collector acquired Stan Lee Media's intellectual properties, creative assets, and is now selling them anonymously via blockchain technology, courtesy of Makersplace. So this is just, I don't have a real good feeling about this. NFTs aside, we've been talking about Stan Lee, and he really was not treated well in the last few years of his life. And even when he died, I mean, the Hollywood Reporter did a story on this. In 2018, they said Stan Lee needs a hero. Elder abuse claims and battle over the aging Marvel creator. Everybody wanted a piece of Stan Lee because the movies were very, very popular. He had his family take them for a ride. He had people that were supposed to be his caretakers taking him for a ride. And after he died, a good chunk of the comic book industry, that basically, people working on books that Stan helped create, turned on him, and they were like, well, he was molesting and harassing the nurses at 90 some years old. It was crazy to watch this whole thing go down. And now we've got Disney using, what little unused audio they have left of Stan Lee in Walt Disney fashion and kind of turning him into a Colonel Sanders character, right? An idealized version of Stan Lee, and using his audio clips to shill the latest phase of the MCU. And then we've got an anonymous buyer, anonymous collector selling off Stan's episodes as NFTs. So it's like the strip mining of Stan Lee. And it's kind of gross. I mean, it really is. The way that this is being done is just, it's really gross. I mean, that's aside from NFTs. And again, the thing with NFTs is that it is actually, aside from the environmental concerns, which I really personally would have to look into more. I'll be honest, I haven't really looked into it that much. But, comic book creators are kind of flipping out about this because there are some people who are making really, really good money off of NFTs. And with more and more comic book art being digital, I personally think it's a good thing in that regard, that you can sell your originals and make money that way. But then part of me is like, is it really an original? Because it's a file. And technically the file that even if you throw it in a Dropbox, it's still not the same file. It's a copy of the file that's on your computer. And then technically when you overwrite that file with changes, it's no longer the exact same file it was before. But what the hell do I know? It's just basically a certificate that you've got what is considered, I guess, the original file. But Twitter's got some hot takes on it. We've got Ellie got the bangers. This is fucking vile. First, the Bozeman NFT at the Oscars, and now with Stan Lee one. Boy George is doing an NFT. The Annoying Orange is doing an NFT. Everybody's doing the NFT. For sure. Let the dead rest in peace and stop using them for your bullshit. Let the man rest, and turning him into an NFT isn't going to let him rest. Let his legacy live. For F's sake, man, I miss Stan Lee. He was someone I dreamed to meet, like Atika, because I loved both of their humor. Come on, bro. Seriously? They made an NFT, and it's anonymous. Whoever's doing it is anonymous. Here somebody says, genius, the company that owns Stan Lee's library of over 100 characters that Stan created that were never used by Marvel. If the company sold an NFT for each of those characters, what would they sell for at auction? 5 million or more. Who knows? Who knows? And here someone says, sacrosanct NFT. If Stan Lee were with us, I think he'd be crying. The very complicated and sad intersections of old guard comic animators and illustrators for DC and Marvel. Who owns what? Artists take notes. Actually, again, some older comic book creators are making very, very, very good money selling NFTs. But it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I think we're going to see a lot of Stan stuff come out that he probably wouldn't have approved of. And they're just going to strip mine him. It's like Walt Disney. They're going to turn, Disney is going to do this too. They're going to turn him into like a Colonel Sanders type character. We're going to have this perfect idealized version of Stan Lee hawking all kinds of stuff. God, I hope they don't do him dirty and turn Stan Lee into like a digital actor. Like paste Stan Lee's face on somebody else. Deep fake Stan Lee. And throw him into phase 4, that would be freaking terrible. But you know what? Disney would totally do that. They would. I guarantee it. They would totally deepfake Stan Lee just to get him into the Marvel movies, as an Easter egg. So we're not quite there yet, but give him time for sure. I'm going to wrap this one up. Kind of curious what your thoughts are. Leave a comment. Let me know. We'll talk to you guys later.